Butterfly lessons. Steppenwolf is a friend of mine too. This one is for a good friend of all of us out here. I wrote it many years ago and dedicated it to Jack Kelly. I guess there's a few other people that miss him.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. My daughter grew up with Kelly and the characters like him. It's called Friends. And I wrote it while I was selling strawberries by the side of the road in Dunedin. She offers her pinpoint to the pesky love bug. So unceremoniously had he landed and soundless upon the page, the fallen victim of a breeze's pranks. And now there he lies, helpless upon his winged back, trapped between the lines she wrote of man, of woman, of love, of hope. So she offers her pinpoint. Without hesitating, he climbs aboard, pausing not even long enough to utter thanks as he wings away to join his mate among the flowers. And she does not mind his lack of gratitude. They were friends, and after all, the average life of a love bug is 48 hours. If you know Jack, you'll know what that's about. Ladies. This one I wrote one morning sitting in McDonald's back in the 60s. In other words, all of these were written back, well, not all of them. The first book was written back in the 60s when my husband died, and my whole world changed. As my daughter says, I came from being a church-going, nice little woman to a hippie. Still am, though, what can I say?
There you go.
Yeah, I know, there's a lot of us out there in there, Mo.
Yes.
Painted the windows on my front door. Now that's a sight to see. A sun, a moon, a cocky star, a rose, a heart, and a tree. Oh, how beautiful it all looks when the sun shines through, splashing colors all about to colorize the view. Did I paint it for looking out or to keep the world from looking in on me? McMuffin morning. Had my morning coffee with Ronald and his friends. That's one of the blessings of not having to fix breakfast before he goes to work. No smells of bacon frying, coffee perking, or dishes to wash when you're done. Today it was cheese Danish, drinking coffee out of paper cups, and watching all the other early morning people. There in the corner, smart in gray, businessman marks his day with red circles on newsprint. While bank lady, pert in green, glances in the mirror to preen, checks her balance. And a pair of mellow freaks mollify their early morning munchies with McMuffins. This one won me a few prizes. It's called Steppenwolf Bitch. If you've ever read Steppenwolf, you'll know what inspired it. Here in this den, Harry Holler, you would feel at home amidst the books and clippings. Dylan languishes with the doors there against the Bard's collection, while straw flowers in cracked vase share dusty veils with Dostoevsky. And o'er all, in mass profusion, papers, typed pages, scattered stages of this poet courtesan's confusion. I sit in my chair, entrapped, hands obedient to lettered keys. Pray for release from this relentless driving, constant pacing, this roaming of the steps through these two worlds of poetry and prose that I call existence. Ponder, will I ever find the open door to love, or is it for eternity the plight of this Steppenwolf bitch to grope between the sense and nonsense of an incongruous world? On the shelf, there beside the tintype of a ne'er-known mother, the clock as old as she would be, engages in noisy defiance to my sanity. Enrages by its maddening whir, it grinds away at time like a lawnmower's Tarzan drone, cutting its way through yet another today. And now the little hand just past the 70 and the big one fast approaching 12 o'clock. The tired Hermine stares through dirty windows, wonders where the next trick, or rather, why the game, lights the twist end of the suicidal hemp. Okay, this one is for all of us who better go and vote on November 28th. Do you believe he said that? Of course, I don't believe a lot of anything that man said. God, he's crazy. November 8, 1972. Happy birthday, Jenny. Once again, Tricky Dicky. Where were you, my friends? I rode my bike and counted on you. We're in this alike. But you did not come to quell the avalanche, the swell that will bury us all. A landslide, they called it. The enemy was there in colors true. Red, white, and blue, to re-elect their man. Or rather, to crown him king, and in my ears this truth must ring. 4 more years of the devil's disguise. Peace it's called, built on lies. My friends, these people wrapped in flags care not for your simple world. They despise your rags. My daddy was a simple fisherman, a mullet fisherman, which doesn't make much money, but it kept him alive and fed me for a few years till the courts took me away and put me somewhere else. And these poems are both for him, very early memories. My daddy died of a broken heart. He was a prophet. He told me so. He could speak in tongues, but no one would listen. His truths were too hard to take. So they locked him up to keep him quiet in the night. This worn fisherman in his visions saw the end to come, the world's fall, and he only wanted to warn us all, but we were too busy to look. Esther with her garden, me with free love. I'm sorry, Daddy, but Revelation is a frightening book. Stevenson's Creek. I don't know if you know that little creek in Clearwater, but this was a memory. I share a bunch of memories. At sunset, I took myself down to the bay, down to where, if I had been a good girl that day, my daddy would let me go fishing with him at eventide. Perched on the bow of that withered skiff, I was queen of the sea, and he my willing oarsman. Sometimes I would leave the boat to scamper on the sandy banks, chasing fiddler crabs and gabbing with pelicans, and as Dad would lay the net, I might secretly pray that Mr. Mullet would escape just one more day. Today, as I look upon this spot where once minnow fed among the mangrove root and seabirds whispered tales of pirates and treasures golden, today I only see muddy silt and an old boot from its mate parted beside a tire and a hobby horse, dream of some other child discarded. I'm going to end with some words that are not mine. Well, actually, they are mine, about someone we all love, I think. Seinfeld on a late-night talk show. Wise words of the comedian. Comedians just don't want to be a part of life, so that's why I have an addiction to late-night comedians, because in my own melancholy way, I am one of them. Yes, Seinfeld is so right on, even if limited in perspective. It is not only comedians, it's all poets and artists belong in this collective of those who just don't want to be a part of, quote, life, end quote. This is why they spend so much energy putting life down on paper and then giving it back to the world, trying to find some redeeming reason for this thing called existence, some more colorful view that might make it all worth living, turn it into a humorous, or at least interesting experience. Explanation on Seinfeld's sneaker fetish. Quote, I like sneakers because they remind me I don't have a job. End quote. The freedom that comes from art appreciated by others enough to pay the bills. Thank you, everybody.